Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second set of Christian Ethics Living Room Lectures. We're going to talk about church and society, church and law today, church and politics, however you want to phrase it. I prefer the term society just because it's a wider ranging term than just simply politics. So we'll cover Old Testament, New Testament, and we'll just kind of review the central texts or central ideas from each one of those. Then we'll do Christ and Culture from Niebuhr. Then we'll talk about theonomy, and then we'll talk about two kingdoms. Okay, so let's just jump right into Old Testament. So the chief question when you're thinking about the Old Testament as it refers to Christ and politics or Christ and society, church and society, is church and state completely unified in the Old Testament? Is church and state completely unified? Or we can say it like this: is there room for the state to do something the church doesn't? And is there room for the church to do something the state doesn't want it to do? Or are they completely synonymous? So I think the best way to think through that is to think through Christ's three offices, or the three chief offices of the Old Testament. The office of prophet, the office of priest, and the office of king. How do they relate to one another? I think definitely when you think through the office of king and office of prophet, and you think through the narratives of Samuel and Saul, Nathan and David, those narratives, what's happening here? Are the prophets informing exactly what the king must do? Can the king ever tell the prophet what he must do? It's a question to think through. All right. Another concept that'll help you think through the Old Testament and the unification of church and state is what happens to the post-exilic community. How does the post-exilic community relate to its broader cultural context, so its broader laws? So how does Daniel relate to Babylon? How does Esther relate to Persia? What is the relationship? And it seems like even though they didn't have a king, going back to the three offices, they still could operate as a unified community, even in this broader political context. So that kind of tells us something about if they're completely unified. So, I'm not going to tell you how to think through this. I'm just giving you ways and material for your mind as you're writing the papers and thinking through for yourself. How does church and state relate? And how does the Old Testament present them relating? Right? Until next time.